Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, I'm going to show you how I'm saving over $50 a month by changing my wife's phone plan from a T-Mobile regular line to another third-party carrier. And it's actually using the exact same cell signal and towers that T-Mobile does. And I'm getting the exact same speed and performance and even data that I was prior to it. So let's go through the pros and cons, how I did it, how easy it was to make it seamless for her so that her phone number stayed the same. All that stuff happened and it was easy to set up. So the plan I'm using is Tello. And the Tello plan, I've used it for my 4G cellular cameras that I have out in the back of my property. They don't have Wi-Fi. But they also have phone plans, or it's really the same thing. You adjust it. So I'll show you what you get there. But what you do is you order basically a SIM card. You can pick these up at stores, like a lot of just kind of retail stores will have these hanging by like the gift card areas. And what that comes in is a little card here that pops out the SIM card. So this one's actually in use. And this little SIM card is what you put in your phone. So it's super easy to actually take out. Each phone's a little bit different, but this phone here has a little drawer that you pop open with a little, I don't know what they call that, but it's a SIM card tray removal tool that normally comes with the phone. And then right there is the SIM card. So I just took out my wife's SIM card that was the T-Mobile one, and I popped in this one from the card. I slid it in, and it works. Once it's activated, then the phone now works. And when you first order the Tello plan, it is its own phone number. So it got a brand new number that we never used before. We got that one, we put in, and then her phone was now using that new number. But let me show you what the different plans are, as well as how you change that. So now it is your old or your existing phone number gets ported in, is what they call it. They call it a port out of T-Mobile or whoever you have, Verizon, AT&T, and then you port it in to Tello. That's free. And for the most part, it's instant to do that as well. So let's go into my tablet and show you what I did. Alright, so please consider hitting the like button down below in this video, and also consider hitting the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel so you can get notified of future videos that I release. So now in here I do have a referral code that will get you $10 off, so that might cover up to a month or more of actually service for Tello if you use my referral link down in the video description below, or also I'll pin it as the first comment. If you click that link, then that will bring you to a page where you can register for Tello and get your first SIM card so you can actually activate your phone. But let's go through on just Tello.com, their homepage here, of what types of plans they offer. And you can see they obviously do advertise and push this $25 a month plan, which is their unlimited phone plan that gives you 35 gigabytes of high-speed data, right? So that's higher speed before it starts to get throttled back some. But I don't need that, because what I saw is my wife typically uses around 5 gigabytes of data every month. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And so what I found is I could configure a plan for her with unlimited minutes, unlimited text, and 5 gigabytes of data a month, and it's only $14 a month, which is a steal compared to paying $60+ a month for a phone line from T-Mobile. And that was also with, I think they actually bumped her up. It might have been $10 or 10 gigs of data instead of 5 gigs, but it was 5 gigs before for that price. So it might be 10 gigs now that she was at before we switched her over. But even that, at 10 gigs a month, it's $19 here with Tello. And what I like about it is that there's no strings attached. You can cancel any time. It's very easy to renew. And you can go in here and click see more plans. And this is where, for my cameras, I take off all of the minutes. And then I go way down in data because I don't need nearly as much. And I can get those for as low as $5 a month. And that's a data-only plan. But this could also work for some folks that maybe have someone doesn't use a lot of data or any data, and they just need to get some minutes or some text. And for $6 a month, you could get a plan that allows them to just have a phone, and they can call and text you whenever they want, but they're not allowed to use it for data or whatnot. You can get some really affordable plans here. But a realistic plan, I think, for most people is something like this 5 gig data and unlimited minutes and text. And then my wife uses Wi-Fi at the house or at work or other places, and so this more than gets by. And the lovely thing about Tello is that, let's say you are going to be a heavy data user for a month, you can anytime change your plan to another plan, and it will just kick in. And in fact, if you add, so like if I'm in the middle of a plan and I see I'm going to run out, I can either top up those minutes for that month. I can just add another gig or 5 gigs or whatever for a price, or I can actually switch her to another plan that's a higher one, and that will reactivate that plan for 30 days. So they run in 30-day increments. And then I can switch back whenever I want back to the lower tier plan. And in fact, if you switch before you actually renew automatically, it will roll over any leftover minutes, right? So you can actually go back to one of the other cheaper plans, and you'd have all the extra data that you had already purchased. And then this is what I was saying, that basically there's no contract, no fees. You can upgrade or downgrade at any time for free, no penalties or anything. You get free hotspot and Wi-Fi calling. And that's going to depend on how much data you have, as drives how much hotspot data you get. And then free international calls to 60 plus countries. So that's the summary of it. But let's show you how you get your same phone number to get ported into Tello. So when you go through and you activate your phone, you do have to activate it first and get your phone working, but then you need to port in or port out the number. So Tello has a help file. I'll put this link in the video description so you can reference it as well. But in here it says you need to submit a phone number to transfer to port in. I'm going to click on that for you just to show you what it looks like. And this is basically assuming you already have a phone that you're ready to port in. So this is where the top where it says my number, I would pick which Tello plan I wanted to change the phone number. And then you type in the one that you want to port in. It's going to check that phone to make sure it's available to port in. And then you have to also, once you do that, you'll ask you for things like the port out PIN number, as well as your old plan account number. Those are the data that you need. So for me, since my wife was T-Mobile, I had to go to T-Mobile to set up the port out PIN. And on the Tello's page here, it does walk you through. It actually has a carrier transfer information tab. That this also helps you figure out what you need to do based off which carrier you have. So they have links to each one depending on what you have. So for me, for T-Mobile, I go into here, and you can do it either in the app or online, but you don't have to call anyone, you don't have to do anything. So I just went online to T-Mobile, went to my account, went to profile, my line settings, and I said request a transfer PIN. I think T-Mobile's begged and pleaded to say, hey, don't do this, call us instead. We want to keep you. I said, nope, I'm going to change. And then it gives you the transfer PIN, and that PIN is now immediately active to go type into to Tello and tell it to grab that. It tells you it can take, I think, up to 48 hours or something. Every time I've done it, it's been instant, right? Like within a matter of a couple seconds, it immediately works. So that's something that you'll probably want to do, so you can keep your same phone number, but then you can start saving that money right away. So I'm all for it. We've been testing it. I've confirmed I've gotten really fast speed. I think I've got like 400 megabits per second download of speed very easily on her phone, which was the same as before when she was T-Mobile Direct. And Tello does use the T-Mobile network, so if you get good T-Mobile service, you'll get good Tello service. It's the exact same signals that it uses. And then the other thing with Tello, with the big carriers, they have a lot of these phone upgrade plans, and that is enticing because you might get hundreds of dollars off on a phone if you sign a contract for them for 2 or 3 years, and that can be enticing. Tello does offer some phones that they can give you and subsidize, but you're not going to get a lot of free phones from them at all. They'll have some discounts on them here or there, but what I basically plan to do is look for deals on cell phones that are unlocked or available for T-Mobile, and I'll buy those separately. And it's just kind of a different mindset that you have, that I'm not planning on getting my cell phone from my cell carrier and locking into a contract. Instead, I'm going to pay $14 a month, and I will buy a new phone as I need to every 2, 3, or 4 years whenever the phone starts to lose its cool factor. So that's my advice for you guys to do this. Like I said, it also works for non-cell phone use. So if you have a tablet, you can also do it, and you can just turn off the minutes and text and use it for data. So it has a lot of uses, and honestly, I have not understood why more people don't use something like this, because it is way more affordable. The only place where I can see that it can be more advantageous to go to the one of the big name carriers is if you have a family plan. I think Tello technically offers a family plan, but it's really not a family plan. From what I can tell, it's basically just adding multiple lines to one account. But some of the big ones, Verizon, T-Mobile, they have something where like you come in and it costs 15 or $20 to add another line. That can make a lot of sense when you have 4 or 5 cell phones on a plan. I think they can actually start to get really price competitive per line. But if you're doing a single line or double line, this Tello seems to be a really good way to go if you like the T-Mobile cell signal that you get. So hope you enjoy this. Take care. Enjoy.